What is up, super cool people of the internet? My name is Amethyst and welcome to my corner. Today we're going to be doing a video on my pet rat Sakura. She's named after the Naruto character Sakura, who has a diamond on her head, which is why this one, the rat, got the name Sakura, because when she was a baby, that little white spot was much more like a diamond shape. And we're going to talk about how she developed a mass, almost died, and put her little owner through it, because I was going through it. I thought that this was the end for her, and I felt like there was probably some level of, education in this story. So we're going to tell the story. I'm going to tell you guys some realities of being a pet rat owner, some of the stuff that you got to go through. So yeah, we're going to go through that today. So I noticed that there was a mass developing, and you're going to see the area right here. There's like a wound right there. That's where the mass was developing. And I noticed it through a tumor check. I do tumor checks on my girls through every 3 days a week at the minimum. And I noticed that there was a fatty mass there. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I took a picture of it and sent it to a Facebook group, and they basically said I would definitely get that checked out. Looks like it could be just a regular mass that could be easily removed, but you want to get that checked out immediately. So I did that. I booked an appointment for a new vet that I've never been to, that I am going to drive as long as it takes to get into, because it was, so it's Electric City Animal Hospital in Anderson, South Carolina. I don't live near there, but I do make the drive because wowzers, was that a great vet. So I took her in with her friend Tamaki, so that she'd have like a little buddy. I didn't think this was going to be a big deal. I thought, okay, well, it's still fatty, like it'll be really easy to remove, right? Get in there, pull it out. And the vet was a little confused because I called it a mammary tumor, because that was my experience. Like the tumors that develop there, those are mammary tumors, right? That's been my experience. So she was confused why I was calling it that, because she didn't know, or like she hadn't seen tumors that were mammary tumors back there before. But after doing a little research, she was like, actually, yeah, I see that there could be some there. It's just not as common as the ones that go up and down their abdomen. So she was like, all right, well, let's go get in there and do an operation. Didn't think that this could go badly, because she's done this routine so very much. And I trust her completely. I don't think that she's at fault for the situation. I think this was kind of blindsiding for everybody involved. But when she got in there, she realized that it was attached to the colon. So when she was operating on it, she was very worried she nicked the colon during operation. As soon as she realized how close it was, she stopped the operation, closed her back up, and woke her up. They gave me a call. I had left her overnight, so they gave me a call and basically said, how the operation went, that it wasn't as successful as they hoped it was going to be. And basically, get down here, we can show you what we got to do. And this doesn't seem super great. I'm so sorry. We're going to do everything we can to basically cut the cost, because at that point they felt like this was the end for her. They also knew that I was struggling with earnings and stuff. Like I was going to have to actually split up the payment anyways. But then they were willing to cut costs as much as possible, given the fact that it didn't go as they planned. So day one, I'm spending $170 on the vet check and on the surgery. When I got there to pick her up, they gave me an antibiotic and an anti-inflammation to give her. And they said, all right, so we're going to see how she does. Come back in 2 days, unless something drastically happens, come tomorrow, but come back in 2 days and we'll see how she's doing. So I'm trying to give her the drugs, and she is not taking them. She will hold them in her mouth and then wipe her face on whatever cloth she can to have that cloth absorb the liquid. How she figured out that works, I have no idea. She's never had meds before, and she did that the very first time I gave her the meds. So she's a smart girl, and she was avoiding taking her medication. She also stopped going to the bathroom. So I told the vet both of these things, and we all basically thought this was not gonna be good. Because she had explained, if she can't go to the bathroom, that's a good sign that she might have a nick in her colon, and if that's the case, then it's basically game over. There's not really a way to fix that, especially because they're so small. Maybe if it was a bigger mammal, but not on these guys. So she decided to take her into the back. I think she wanted to do an MRI, but before she could finish the MRI, she went to the bathroom. So she ended up taking a sterile, hospital grade Q-tip and shoving that in with some lube and basically opening up the pathway so that she could go, and it worked. And so she was like, that is really good news. That means that I probably did not nick the colon to the point. So if you nick it, it basically stops functioning. And if it can't function, then she can't go to the bathroom at all, because it won't even push it down to a point where I could remove it. So that would have been really bad. And she said it looks like that didn't happen. It looks like she's able to go. It's just inflammation at this point. So the inflammation is causing her so much strain that she can't go on her own. But when we did the Q-tip, basically opened up a pathway so she could go. So vet visit number 2 went so smoothly. It went so much better than any of us. I literally went in there with my husband. We were grieving her before she was gone. Like, it was one of those kinds of visits. And I got to take her home. We put her on a stronger antibiotic, so it was like a much smaller dose. So there was no way she was avoiding drinking that. I would hold her in my hands, like away from me, until she would swallow the medication because she was just being such a brat about it. But that did actually work. So I was giving her medication twice a day, and I was helping her go to the bathroom twice a day. So it was a very uncomfortable experience for both of us. I had to do what the vet did, and yeah, 10 out of 10, don't recommend that experience, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So she was healing up really nicely, and then one morning I was checking on the wound, and it was closed. It happened literally overnight. She closed the wound. Like, she healed herself. I was truly beyond elated. I was like jumping up and down, screaming, like, I can't believe this is happening. She's healing up. It was like so exciting. But that was not, the end of the situation, because now she still has a chance of sepsis if there was a nick in the colon. So we took her back to the vet. And I was much happier this time. I was like, listen, like, she's closing up her wound. She seems to be doing well. Like, she started acting normally. So what I do when my girls are really sick, the first couple of days, I'll keep them in the pet carrier that you see her in now. But then I'll take a smaller, like, a smaller cage, which you'll see it in the video, but I take a smaller cage and I put that in the critter nation so that she can be isolated but still enjoy the company of her sisters. And I think that helped a lot because her mood got so much better after I did that. She was struggling a lot with, like, she seemed to be pretty depressed before, and that helped a lot. So that's a tip for you guys if you have the means for that. And it's not like I would not put the pet carrier in there because it's plastic. They could definitely chew through that if they were determined to. So now we're on, let's say, vet visit 3. And vet comes in and she is freaking out. She's like, I can't believe it's healed up. It's closing up so well. And her attitude is good. She was going to the bathroom, still strange. She was a bit constipated, but she was going to the bathroom without me needing to use the Q-tip, which was what we were hoping for. She was eating normal. She was acting normal, drinking water plenty. And yeah, everything seemed so good. The vet did not charge me for a checkup fee, which, I mean, they probably should have, but they didn't, I think, given how stressful the circumstances were. But usually, what I'll say, usually I'm spending around like $500 for something like this. The last 2 times that happened, I think I spent a little bit more on one of my girls because her wound was like, it was healing and then getting worse and healing and getting worse. So I spent a lot more on her. But I just want to put this out there. You will spend a lot of money on your pet rats if you're trying to get them the best care possible. For Boca, I think I spent over $1,000. Granted, that was my heart rat, so, I was doing the most for her. But they are expensive creatures, and oftentimes their deaths are by euthanasia. So it's like, no matter what, you're going to have some sort of vet bills to occur. So I just want to keep that in mind, or like, I want to let you guys keep that in mind if you're planning on getting pet rats, because I get a lot of those comments. I want pet rats, but I'm a kid. I would not recommend these to kids who are not independent enough to take them to the vet. Just being completely honest, they're not easy animals. They are a lot of work. They go to the vet very frequently, and they're very expensive. So far, my rats have been more expensive than my cats. So I just want to put that out there. And I hope that this video was helpful for somebody, that you enjoyed it. If you're just listening to the story, I mean, it's a happy story, right? So like, she's safe, she's happy, she's with her sisters again, she's healed up. So very, very grateful for the vet and all of her determination to get her well, because she really did the most to try to make sure this was okay. She even texted me like throughout Labor Day. So she was wonderful. And now Sakura is still with us. So I'm very, very excited about that. I'm very happy that I get longer with her. Definitely something I'm going to have to keep out look for, like there is a good shot that this could come back. So having to be mindful of that, but just very excited and happy that she's still with us. If you found some information useful in this video, let me know down below. If you're also a pet rat owner and you also are like me, worried when people say, I want them, they seem like such easy and fun pets, let me know down below. What is your story that you like to remind people, hey, these are not for everybody? Because I think that although these pets are wonderful and I would always recommend them to the person who is able to take care of them, they're not easy. And so I think that's something that we have to also share, because you can't just share the good things of stuff. But yeah, I hope that made sense. I feel like that got a little too serious for a second, but let me know how you enjoyed this video. Let other people know what is some stuff that you wish you knew before you got pet rats. I'm going to do a video on that soon too, by the way. And yeah, send Sakura some of your love, because she did it. She's such a strong fighter. Like she really came up from this, and I'm very, very proud of her, and I'm so glad that she's okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that it was enjoyable, informational, whatever it needed to be for you in this moment. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye!